Well, since we have not seen too much any activity for UFOs over the city of New York, I take some things earlier. So I figure, hey, let's talk about it. In the past videos, I had spoken about Madame Chatelet. One of the videos, Madame Chatelet. I also spoke about you can win the Nobel Prize in Physics. I also spoke about if you were to get rid of the rubbish in the universe, for example, the planets, the stars, black holes, dark matter, dark energy, electrons, fundamental forces, fundamental particles, and so on, with the speed of light as we know it, travel faster than light. Now, we have a dark verse. We have the visible universe that we can see. But beyond the visible universe, I don't know if anyone ever came up with this term, but I call it the dark verse. The dark verse, like I had spoken earlier, would have different properties. Would have less energy, less forces, minute forces, and so on. So we can prove if the speed of light as we know it, going through the dark verse, which have different properties, low energies, practically no particles, but they go faster than the speed of light. Would space be the same as we know it today? So that was the question I had asked earlier in one of my videos. I also spoke about Rat, the revolutionary analytic theorist. If you have a theory as revolutionary, analyze it, who knows? It can, it could be that you can win the Nobel Prize in Physics. So that's said and done. Now we have string theory, which in I don't know, 6 or 7 years that they develop it, and actually it's been taught in colleges and universities, and that's not proven, right? Because originally, I believe it was 20-something dimensions that you would have to mathematically put it together with Einstein's gravity, to put it together with quantum gravity to become a theory of everything. So string theory has not been proven for the simple fact that for every particle that we know, you have to have a partner particle. So if you have an electron, you're going to have this electron. So the particles have to be partners for us to come up with a theory of everything, for them to come up with a theory of everything. Then we have in theory, which I'm not going to get into. And the particles, in part of shape, they call it supersymmetry. And most importantly, the LHC, the Large Hadron Collider, has not come up with the supersymmetric particles, which is a part of particles to the particles that we know of right now. And billions of dollars has been spent, so that went, that got thrown into the garbage so far. Now, let's go down. The reason why I'm saying this is we have been out there and we have seen UFOs, almost all of us. We cannot explain it, right? But yet they're telling us, Carl Sagan has said, extraordinary claims need extraordinary proof. So that's what they have been saying to the people who believe in UFOs and who have seen UFOs. But yet, they are claiming extraordinarily claiming that string theory is the right theory without any proof, and it's been taught in colleges and universities. So let's go one. I'm just going to give you a broad overview of, and apparently someone won the Nobel Prize in physics for string theory, right? Because that person was very popular, so they give that person the Nobel Prize in physics for popularity. So let's go down to cosmology, inflation theory. Came up, I don't know, I guess when I was about, say, let's say 50 years ago. So they came up with this theory, right? Because they wanted to explain why the universe expanded so much faster at the beginning of the universe. So they came up with, well, one physicist came up with this theory, cosmology, inflation theory. So he claims, well, and this is being taught in colleges and universities also, with no, well, I'm going to get back to that because I'm going to write the word, logical. That's the word we have to remember, logical. And then I'm going to just put explanation. Whatever. So remember this word, logical. So the universe expanded, I don't know how many times fast, and it's still like, it's an enormous amount of, exponential expansion. But expansion can be worked out for simple math. We all know velocity equal distance over time. So if we say, well, 300 years, 300,000 years from the beginning of the universe, after 300,000 years, light did not, come into view because you need a magnetic, you need interaction with particles to form light. And they claimed there was a soup. But anyway, it expanded. And you can calculate this with simple math, velocity equal distance over time. Fine. So now it expanded, and it expanded exponentially. And that expansion need to explain, because everywhere you look into the universe looks the same, right? So why would it look the same? Because the beginning of the universe had to be in casual contact. You have to be in casual contact, right? You have to be in contact, so that if someone if you here, this is the expansion. A person here, just think of it as a sphere. A person here, which is 13.8 billion years ago, the universe expanded. You here will see the same thing here, and you are here, you see the same thing over here. So that means that a person here from here that's looking at each other sees the same thing that's out here and out here, right? But this is only 30 million years. So how is this guy going to be in contact with this guy because this is the same all the way around? So there's a casual contact. So whatever happened at the beginning of the universe, it has to have some kind of casual contact, right? That's called causality. Now, they're talking about, and this is where the inflation theory comes into being. And what the inflation theory is saying that the Big Bang expanded very rapidly. We're talking about 10 to the minus 30 something seconds to expand. I don't know the numbers. The numbers, it's not difficult to find out, because velocity equal distance over time. So it's simple to calculate it. So now to explain this rapid expansion, the cosmology inflation theory was proposed. And it is being taught, like I said, in colleges and universities. But why? Right? There's no proof for it. But the only thing that is saying is that is the most logical explanation. So now when we talk about UFOs, and then we can say, we can teach UFOs in colleges and universities, and they should not object because it is the most logical explanation for what we see in the skies. Right? Because there's no proof for cosmology inflation theory. Right? Now we're talking about homogeneity. Oh, before we get into that, what I did. Homogeneity means that, you know, the universe pretty much is uniform. So that's what that means. And causality means that whatever started the universe had to be in contact with each other, and it's expanded. So whatever expanded, whatever is here is going to be here because it was in contact with each other. So over here would be, the properties of there would be over on the other side. Now the person goes on to say, well, the rapid expansion was caused by a repulsive force. Well, we know we have attractive forces, right? So it expanded so rapidly, but it had to slow down as we see the universe today. So why did it slow down? Because at the beginning, there was a repulsive force. Well, wait a minute. It expanded so rapidly. I mean, the numbers is extraordinary. So let's find out about the repulsive force. So it expanded for whatever time, a minuscule time, and then a repulsive force now started to act. And the repulsive force acting on the universe, as we can see, the expansion of the universe now is way more slower than the rapid expansion. So now there's a repulsive force, a repulsive actually gravity. What is it? Repulsive gravity force that slowed the universe down as we see it today. So now the idea behind the repulsive gravity force is, as I may say, right? It has to be I don't know, a cosmic super brakes, right? Cosmic super brakes to stop this rapid expansion because of the repulsive gravity, right? To stop it, the repulsive gravity. So we have to have a super brake. So you have to believe in the cosmic super brakes. Okay, that's fine. Then we continue on. Then we realize that the universe now has been speeding up. Well, the repulsive force stopped the universe from expanding. Stopped the expansion of the universe for about 7 billion years, right? Let's call it 8 billion years, right? Because it slowed down to what we had known back in the past. Then 5 billion years ago, we found out now that the universe started to expand. So what happened now to the repulsive force, right? So now, when the universe slowed down, they said that the repulsive force decayed, right? And it slowed down in the radiation. I mean, it stopped. The radiation of the whatever repulsive force stopped. So now, when the universe started to speed up, all of a sudden the repulsive force now comes into play. Right? So now it's speeding up. Right? 5 billion years ago, the universe is speeding up. So what I'm trying to explain to you is this. You believe in UFOs, like I do. We cannot be the only people on the face of, in the face of the universe. But I don't want to get too much into a lot of issues. What you see is what you see. And we have all seen these things. And we are trying to explain it. And the idea behind what I'm trying to explain to you right now is that they believe in string theory. They believe in M theory, which I'm not even getting into. Right? And cosmology inflation theory. So, which has not been proven. So whatever theories you come up with, it's your theory. And they cannot disprove your theory. Because you've seen what you've seen. And we have a pattern, and if we have a pattern, this is how physics, the laws are made. If we have a pattern, you know, we observe things, and there is a pattern, then we need some proof. Right? Now, they're saying we need extraordinary proof to prove an extraordinary, what is it? Did I get into the theory of everything? Well, the theory of everything, actually, they try to put Einstein's, I believe I said that, Einstein's gravity, which is the gravity that we know, the explanation with quantum gravity, to form the theory of everything, a mathematical concept. All right, so there's that on that level. Now, I'm going to talk about my theory. So my theory is, you know, I'm not going to get too much into it because it's for the future. But I'm going to give you a little, you know, what do you call it? A little, I don't know. You figure out the word. But my theory is this. But not my theory, I'm going to give you some words. Right? And my words are this. These words that I use. I use words like, we know we cannot have infinity, right? There's no infinity because we will not be here. So I use terms like AIP. Before the universe that we know it now, I call it the almost infinite period. Even period denotes time, but that's what I you know, you gotta use some kind of word. And then I use the word AIN, almost infinite number, right? So these are the words that I use. It cannot be infinite. So then I use words like the cosmic cake. Cosmic cake. And I'm going to give you a brief explanation about the cosmic cake. Right? If someone asks you to bake a cake, and they don't tell you what kind of cake, or you don't even know the ingredients, how can you bake a cake? Or even if they gave you certain ingredients before the universe has started, they give you the ingredients. So what are the ingredients? Some energy, some, you know, expansion, contraction of the universe before we know it. So it goes through numerous expansion and contraction, but we came out of this cosmic cake. So it will take an almost infinite period before we came out of the cosmic cake, right? So you can put your flour, your baking powder, baking soda, salt, sugar, whatever, and when you make that cake and you take it to the person, then that's not a cake I want. Because you have no idea, so you have to go back and mix it over and over and over until the person said that's the perfect cake. But that's just a perfect cake we're living in this universe because we are the company of the cosmic, because the universe came up with the perfect cake to make this universe. This is why it needs to be called a cosmic cake. Now, there's a cosmic shock wave, right? That's my theory. Because if we were to look at homogeneity, there must be something that's smoothing out the universe, because the universe is smooth right now. There has to be a force after just after the Big Bang to smooth out the universe. This is why I call it the cosmic shock wave. But we're getting more and more into that in the future. Right? Now, I also propose that I can tell you exactly where the fundamental particles, the fundamental forces, exactly where, at the beginning of the universe, where these forces and particles were created. Exactly. But you never hear any physicist says, well, there may be an exact point at the beginning of the Big Bang where these forces were conceived, right? You never hear anything like that. But you are going to hear the first time I can pinpoint exactly where in the Big Bang these forces and fundamental particles or elementary particles were created. Exactly. If I tell you it was created here, or I'm saying in a zone. In a zone, right? In a zone. I'm not going to say just right here. I'm just going to say in a zone. You have here and you have a zone around here. This is where say for example, the electroweak force would be created, the electromagnetic force, the electroweak force will be created. Exactly where in that zone it will be created. And another thing, they're saying that particles are generational. So you have different particles. I can tell you exactly in the zone, because there has to be a certain zone where these particles were created through the energy levels of the Big Bang. And this is the first time you're going to hear about it anywhere, because I can show exactly where these particles were created. So hopefully I'm going to end it right there. And in the future, when I scan the universe and there's nothing else to show, I'm going to come back and then we're going to exactly where these zones and fundamental particles and these forces were created. Right? So hope to see you guys soon. Sorry about not seeing any UFOs now, but I will keep my eye out over the skies of New York. Thank you.